Okay, so today I'm going to be teaching how to factor a trinomial by a method called bottoms up. And the trinomial I'm going to use in this example is going to be 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. Now, trying to factor a trinomial when it has a first term that is bigger than 1 can sometimes be a challenge. But by this method of bottoms up, we can actually take this for our original trinomial and we can change it to where we have a first term of 1 to make our factoring a lot easier. So to do this, we're going to take our first term, we're actually going to multiply it by our last term. So when we do, we're going to end up with a new trinomial. So when we do this, we're going to have left with x squared in the front. Notice here it's got the understood first term of 1 beside it. Then we've got our plus 10x, and then 3 times negative 8 will give us a negative 24. And so now our next step, we're going to get the factored form of x squared plus 10x minus 24. So to do so, we need two numbers that when we multiply them together, we'll get negative 24. And when we add these two numbers together, it's going to give us 10. Alright, and so since we know our negative 24, or since we got a negative 24, and we're multiplying, we know that one number needs to be positive, and the other needs to be negative. Because remember, a positive times a negative will give us a positive number. And we know since the numbers have to multiply to give 24, we'll need to use some factors of 24. So the factors that work for this problem is going to be a positive 12, and I'm going to have a negative 2. If you notice, 12 times negative 2 gives a negative 24. And then 12 plus a negative 2 will give us a 10. Alright, so we found our two numbers that work to factor this trinomial, x squared plus 10x minus 24. So when we do, we'll end up with, we've got our parentheses, and in this first set we'll have an x plus 12. Then in our next set of parentheses we'll get an x minus 2. But we're not done yet, because remember this x plus 12 and this x minus 2, that's the factored form of x squared plus 10x minus 24. But we're looking for a factored form of 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. Now, since originally we changed our trinomial by multiplying, we'll need to, it's like to go back from this new trinomial to it's like to go back from our new one to our original trinomial. Since first we multiplied, we'll then need to undo our multiplication. And to undo multiplication, use division. Remember, multiplication and division is kind of like their opposites, so they undo each other. And so when we divide, or when we do this division, we're going to divide our 12 by 3 and our negative 2 by 3. And the reason we divide by 3 is that in this case, since originally we multiplied by 3 to get our new trinomial, we need to divide by 3 to take us back to our starting point. And then when you do the division, you're only dividing your whole numbers inside the parentheses. So when we do this division, we're going to end up with a new set of parentheses. And then this first set, we've got our x plus, and since we have 12 divided by 3, that's going to give a whole number, which is 4. So we'll keep our 4. Now in this next set of parentheses, negative 2 divided by 3 can't give a whole number. And since it can't give a whole number, that's where we get our term bottoms up. We're going to take this 3, which is on the bottom, and we're going to move it up. in front of our x to give us our new set of parentheses. And when we do this, so we moved our 3 in front of the x, we get up with a 3x minus, and since we took the 3 and moved it up, all we're left with is a 2. And so now this new factored form that we have is going to be our factored form of our 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. And now, just in case you don't believe me on this being the factored form, we'll go ahead and check it by using the FOIL method to see if x plus 4 times 3x minus 2 will equal 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. And so remember, when you do FOIL, it's like your first term times first term, which means, so we got x times 3x, which gives us 3x squared. Then we have, it's like outer term times outer term times outer term. So we got x times negative 2, which gives negative 2x. Then we have inner term times inner term. And so our 4 times 3x will give a positive 12x. And then last term times last term, which will give 4, which means 4 times negative 2 will give us negative 8. And so from here we simplify like terms. And when we do that, we'll end up with 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. And so that proves that this factored form, our x plus 4 times 3x minus 2, equals our 3x squared plus 10x minus 8. So therefore, that is the factored form of our original trinomial. And so this is the bottoms up method. Like I said, quick recap. You take your first term in your trinomial, which is in front of the x squared, and you multiply it by the last term to get your new trinomial that has the leading coefficient of 1 there for your first term. From there, you'll factor by finding the two numbers that when you multiply them together and you add them together, and give the last term your trinomial. So then that gives your factored form. You divide your whole numbers by 3 to get your new parentheses, and then in the set of parentheses that you can't divide evenly, move the number from the bottom up in front of the x, and that gives you your factored form of the original trinomial. And so I hope y'all enjoy this video. Hope it's beneficial to y'all, to those of y'all who watch, and I hope y'all can learn something from this, and it'll hopefully make your life a little bit easier when you have to factor trinomials. So good luck on this. Good luck next time in math class you need to factor a trinomial. Hope it helps.